Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the PowerSchool Professional Learning Training. PowerSchool Professional Learning is our transition from ERO to this new platform. I'm Lara Hayes. If you don't know who I am, I'm one of the MLS that's going to lead professional learning as we move forward with this platform. So if you ever have any questions or if you have any questions after this training, don't hesitate to fill out the MLS form or shoot me an email, and I can help with the platform. If you have any questions about your actual certification, I'll go through that later on today on who you can ask. If you have any specific questions about your transcripts and how to get certified or whatnot. I have turned off the mics just because I am by myself today. Usually we try to team up on the MLS team so that people can handle looking at chat or answering things as we're talking. But I am by myself today. I only have one monitor, so I can't go through and mute people if I need to. So just bear with me. I did have to turn off the mics, but if you do have a question, feel free to use that chat. That chat feature is still open. And if I don't see it in between me talking, I'll answer it at the very end. Okay, so to get started, some of us might be new to the district and you don't even know what ERO is. And so ERO was our platform where we can sign up and register for trainings or do workshops or whatnot. And also that was where we had all of our certification points. So if you are a certified teacher, that is where Paula Belkin got all of your information so that she can send it to the State Department and so that you can be certified for the next 5 years. And that's also a place where we also did our out of district transfer requests. But it did have an end of life in April. They decided that the coding was very antiquated, and so that they needed to retire that platform and move to a different platform. And so this is how we got into PowerSchool Professional Learning. And it's as we go through the program, I hope that you'll see that it's more user-friendly and it has a little bit more of a modern feel to it. And it's hosted through PowerSchool so that we already have a couple of other PowerSchool products so that it kind of meshes all together with the things that we have. PowerSchool Professional Learning is kind of a mouthful and kind of a tongue twister. So every now and then you'll hear people refer to it as just being PL because, you know, in education, we like our acronyms. So if you do hear PL, this is what they're talking about is PowerSchool Professional Learning. All right, so to get into PowerSchool Professional Learning, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And let me go to the right screen here. Okay, there we go. All right, so in order to find it, you're just going to go into Clever. If you don't have Clever, I'll show you in a minute how to get to it if you don't have Clever. But you'll just go to your Clever page if you do have it. You're going to scroll down until you find where it says DD2 resources. And here in the dark blue, you'll see where it says professional learning. And if you hover over it, you can click on that heart and then that'll go up to your favorites up here so that you don't have to scroll down every single time just to find it. If you don't have Clever, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in our chat just so that you can have it and bookmark it or do whatever you would like with it. So I'm going to put that in the chat there, and I'll show you a different way in a minute. If you lose that link and you don't have Clever, I'll show you the other way to find it so you're not having to scramble for it a little bit later. All right, so once you click on that thing down here in Clever or you click on that link, what's going to happen is it's going to ask you to log into Active Directory. So you no longer have to remember that organization number. You don't have to remember that that certificate number or your PIN. It's going to automatically either log you in or you're just going to have to put in your email address, and then your password is going to be your password to your computer or to your O365 account. So it's the same one. So whenever you do change your password after, you know, Canty makes us change it after every so many months, Whenever you change that password, you'll end up changing your professional learning password. So it'll just remember that you've changed your password from your O365 Active Directory account. So no longer having to remember those certain things, your certificate number, even though I do have to say thanks to ERO for helping remember my certificate number, but you don't have to remember those things anymore. So whenever you click on that, it is going to log you in, like I said, and it's going to look something like this. Again, a little bit more modern, looks a little bit nicer, has a little bit more of a feel. Some things are the same. If you look over here to the right, this is, if you ever paid attention to it, this was what the home screen on this side, what ERO did say. And if you've never read it before, this information right here is actually really good. So if you ever needed to know how to renew your certificate or how to add certain endorsements or whatnot, this right here will give you a lot of information. A lot of times we don't remember how many renewal credits do I need to have in order to, update my 5 years. This will tell you right here, if you forget, it's 120. You need those. If you need any other points, it tells you on here. It tells you about your Read to Succeed and what you need to do for that endorsement and other things that you might need. Now, Paula Belkin is great. She'll send us an email even 2 years before your renewal is up. It's wonderful. But if you do have some questions about it, she can either answer them or you can read inside this area right here. And if you scroll all the way down, if you don't know Paula Belkin's information, it is down here, and then her email's here or her phone number is right there. And like I said, she's wonderful. She'll answer your questions for you. If you scroll back up, some new things on the home page, you'll now see where it says recommended training and required training. So these are all new. And basically what this is now presenters have the ability to mark certain courses as something that they recommend you taking before you take another course. So for instance, I normally do a course on Excel Advanced. So if I would like to recommend to any of the participants to do Excel Basics first, then I can tag that course and say, before you take Excel Advanced, I recommend you taking Excel Basics. So then that would just show up in your recommended training here. And then you can click on it and register for it. And I'll show you in a minute what it looks like to register for those courses. And then the same thing goes with required training. So if you do have something that a presenter would like you to make sure you do, and you have to have this for this school year or whatever, they can mark it as required, and then it'll show up here under your required trainings. Once you click on it and take the course and it's completed, they'll all go away from your lists here. So those won't clog up or anything. They'll just be current with the things that you need to take. All right. To the top right here are some other features that you have in PL. This envelope is just your messages center. And right now there are no messages in here. If you do see a message, there'll be like a little notification, a 1 or something up here that says that you have some messages. But the presenters have 3 options whenever they're sending messages. They can either send it through just PL, they can send it through email, or they can send it through PL and email. So we're recommending that presenters use the 3rd option and have messages through PL and also through email, so that you're not having to log into the site just to check your messages to see if you have anything for that course. So like some of these messages could just be like, oh, make sure you bring your charger or a charged laptop, or maybe it's the link to the actual session if it's a virtual session. That can be one of the messages that gets placed out here. But like I said, if you do have a message, you'll see a little notification and then you can read it here. The next thing to the side is your calendar. So if you click on your calendar, this will give you a quick synopsis of the times that things are that have professional development. Some of these that don't have it just means nothing was scheduled that day. So for whatever reason, if you were like, oh, I really want to take something on May 17th, then just May 17th, I can quickly look and it's, it's a bummer. There's nothing there or whatever. You can click on the actual date and that will tell you exactly what's on that date. or you can click right here where it says full calendar, and this will show you everything that is going on for the month of May. All right, so if I'm going here, like I said, it'll highlight the date, and then it'll list all of the things that we have here. So if I say show more, I can see that there was a high school math thing here. Right now, there's some Read to Succeed classes going on. So I can see everything that is available right now. So if you click on this, that will bring you back to the information for that session, and then you can register for it. Tomorrow, I see that there's a school counselors meeting. All right, if I scroll up though, and some of this can get actually really overwhelming if you have too many things going on. Maybe you really don't care to see what's going on tomorrow, or you don't really care to see if there's a high school math session going on. You just want to see what is going on and what courses am I taking. So you can click on this little box next to course catalog, and that will take out all of those things and clear up that calendar for you so that you can, no longer have to see all of those things, and you can just see what you've registered for. Now, I don't have anything registered for this month, so that's why I don't see anything. But if I did, I would be able to see it, and it'd be marked in green. Other things that you might see on here, these calendar events we placed on by staff development. So let's say it was no school that day because it was Memorial Day or whatnot. That might end up on the calendar. You can also uncheck mark those if it's too much to see. This session blackout dates. What this is there are times where the staff development department might not want anyone to present or hold staff development. So let's say it's, winter break, or it's the day right back from break, and we just don't feel like, that's a good day to do staff development or whatnot. The staff development team can block off that date so that no one can put any type of courses on there. And so that would just be marked on there. You can take that off if you don't really want to see that. Some other cool things that you can do with your calendar is you can download your calendar and put it into your Outlook calendar. So let's say I went in and I registered for a course, and now it's inside my calendar here. So if I downloaded this calendar, I would go through, place it into my Outlook calendar, and then now I can see that I've registered for, course XYZ. It's great because now you don't have to redo that calendar invite, whatever. The download calendar, though, however, is static. So meaning if you go and register for something 2 weeks from now, it's not going to place it on your Outlook calendar. It's just going to be whatever you did before you downloaded the calendar. So it's static. This thing right here that has a paper clip looking thing, I think it's a paper clip. It says connect calendar. This is your dynamic calendar. So what you can do is click on this connect calendar, and anytime you register for a course, it's attached to your Outlook calendar, and then it will create this calendar invite for you. So you're not having to re-add in that new event. It'll already do it for you. Kind of more of a efficient way to do things, that working smarter, not harder type of thing. So if you are a little bit more on the tech savvy side, go ahead. It'll go through these steps for you, and it'll show you how to put it in there. If you're a little bit more leery on technology, in a few weeks I'm going to probably do some directions on how to connect your calendar to PL. So if you are a little scared to do it right now, don't worry. I'll walk you through it, and I'll do a couple of steps for you as on how to connect your calendar. And then you can also print your calendar if you ever want to print the whole calendar just to see what's all in May or whatnot. Again, though, printing right here makes it static. Nothing new is going to come into that calendar, so just make sure you remember that. The next thing is your question mark. So this is your help button. You can always ask the MLS team, myself, the staff development team if you have any questions about PL. But this is a nice thing to view if there's ever something that you wanted to take a look at really quickly. There's some updates in here. This right here is our platform. This is professional learning. So if you click on the down arrow there, that will give you a couple of other roles that are in here, and then what they can do and other things that you want to read about if you ever want to, read about professional learning more in depth. All right, and then the other thing to the top right is your profile. So if you click on your profile here, you have your two options. You have your manage profile and you have your logout. So if I click on manage profile, you really can't change anything in here, but I'll tell you in a minute why I want you to look at this. You can change your picture. So if you do have a picture, make sure you put a professional picture, but you can add a picture of yourself in there. And then if you scroll down, you'll see your details in here. And the way that your details come in is through a personnel import file. So anytime you get hired in DD2, you get placed into our system called CSI, and they add all of your information in there. So that's where your employee ID comes from. That's where your email address and everything comes from. So it's all pulling in from that import. What makes that good is that no one is having to manually add things into this system so that there's less room for error. But also what happens is whenever you change schools, this is automatically going to change schools for you as well. So in your demographic file, it'll change your school, it'll change what you teach. The reason why I'm telling you that is because presenters now have an option to, whenever they make a course, they can limit the group of people who can see the course. So let's say a presenter only wants the people from Alston Middle School to be able to see this course. And so your school right here will dictate whether or not you can see it. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because there might be a time where a presenter says, I made this course, go ahead and register for it, and then you don't see it inside your courses at all to be able to even look for it. And so this is just a small troubleshooting thing. So if you've exhausted all your efforts and you really cannot find it, you can ask the presenter and say, well, did you add some tags to it? Maybe that's why I can't see it. And we can look, maybe they accidentally put DuBose Middle School instead of Alston Middle School. So then that's why you're not able to see it. Same goes for social studies teachers. So if they put way too many targeted groups on there and they only wanted ELA teachers to see it, that could be the reason why you're not seeing that course. All right. And yep, so that's about it for this profile part. The other things that you'll see at the top right here on this black strip is micro-credentials. Micro-credentials will go more in depth in whenever we start digging deeper into PL. Right now, we're just kind of doing the main basic part of it. And so we'll go more into it whenever we start actually going deeper into this system. The courses tab, though, is your tab that will be kind of your hub to find any of those courses you need to register for. And so when you go to here, this is your main thing. So if you wanted to search for something, let's say I wanted to see if there were any other professional learning courses here. I can type in professional learning, click search. And anytime I see professional learning in the title or in the description, it's going to show up in these results. So if I'm looking up here, I have 83 results. That's a lot of results. So this might not even been the thing I was looking for. I wasn't even really looking for professional learning. I was really looking for, let's say, Read to Succeed instructional practices. And just for whatever reason, professional learning was in the description. I don't know. The way to limit some of those results is to the left right here where it says refined by. So you can actually go through, and if the presenter or the course creator made this course the right way and they said, oh, well, this is only going to be available to English language arts. If I were to click on this content area, it'll hone all of these results in, and I'll only see things that have that tag. Now, there's nothing in here that has that. But so you can go in through content area, but you could also go in through grade level. So if you're here in grade level, let's say you're only looking for things for the high school grades, you can click on, 9th grade or whatever, and that'll take you to just those specific courses that you're looking for. Once you find your actual course, this is what it's going to look like. So you have your title of your course here. It's going to have your description, so you can read your description. It'll show you really quickly how many credits you get. So if you click on credit here, it's going to tell you you have 1 hour renewal credit, 1 hour technology credit, and then it's going to show you all of the sections that you're able to register for. Just by quick glance, you can see the date that the section is, and you can see what time. So like this is our 3:30 time. Now you don't have to register for this. I'll add you in. But if you were to, have done this prior to, you would have been in here and you would have clicked on register, and I'll go through and show you what that looks like in a minute. But let's say you're looking at this and you're like, okay, well, that's great. I know it's on May 13th. It's at 3:30, but really I need to know where it is. We're asking, right now this is online, so this is why it doesn't look like this, but we're going to have our trainers, we're recommending them to put the location in the front of the section title so that you can also quickly see where it's located, whether it's online, whether it's at, Alston Middle School or whatnot. If you want to see more information on this section, if you click on this I right here, it's going to give you a little bit more information. Sometimes you'll see notes in here that could say something like, I need a certificate uploaded to XYZ, or bring your computer, something like that. It's going to go back over your dates. It's going to have your credit types. And then notice here it has instructor name, but it has the email address over it. And whenever you hover over, it changes your mouse into that hand. So what that really means is that you can actually just email quickly. So if you did have a question for me, so like maybe the notes did say, please upload your certificate, and you're like, well, where am I uploading the certificate? You can quickly click on my email address. They'll pop up your email so that you can shoot me an email if you have a question. And then you'll also see where it is inside this window. And then if there's any attachments, so sometimes people will attach their agenda or whatnot in here, so you can find that in there too. All right, so let's say now this is a course you want to register for. So I'll just go over here and click register. And actually, before I do that, let me go back up. I forgot to talk about this. To the top right, you'll see this push pin looking thing. Basically what this is just a quick marker to get back to this session. So like, let's say you're looking through PL and then there's a fire drill, and you know that as soon as you get back from the fire drill, you're going to have to start class again. So you really just have no time to go back and look at this. You don't want too many windows open, so you're just going to go ahead and close this, whatever. So I want to be able to get to it quickly. So I can click on this push pin. And then now it shows up where it says show my pinned courses, so that the next time you come into PL, you can quickly open this back up and you're not having to do that search again inside the course search window. I'll show you a different place to find this in just a minute. All right, so if you're here and like I said, you want to go ahead and register, you can see that someone took one of the seats out of this one right here. If you do want to get this seat, you're going to click on register here. It's going to give you this new window, and it's just going to ask you to confirm it. It's going to tell you again to go through and look at this and see if this is really the course you want to go to. If it's not, then you can just go back up here and then click on courses again, and it'll bring you back out. But if you do think this is a course that you want to register for, you're going to click next. And then it's automatically going to do it. So it's going to say congratulations, and then it's going to send you an email that says, just the information of the course, and then you'll know that you got registered for the course for it. And then again, like down here, it's telling you if you connected your calendar, it's going to show up on your calendar for you. All right, if I go back to courses here, notice now, if I look under my courses, I'll see that PowerSchool Professional Learning User Training that I just signed up for. All right, and then if I scroll down a little bit, it's going to say My Pinned Opportunities, and that's where that section went to whenever I pinned it. So you can click on the push pin again and take it away, and it's gone, but that's where you can find it just in case you need to see it again quickly. Something that is great about PL is that if I were to go back and let's say right now I was in a course, it started at 3:30. If I went and let me show you something real quick. So like, let's say, see how now it turned green, so this is my course. But if I went back in and I tried to register for this Read to Succeed class here, if I click on that, and I go to try to register, it's going to give me an error because it knows that I've already registered for PowerSchool Professional Learning, so it's not going to let me do two courses at the same time. So that is a nice feature in ERO. You could have signed up for as many courses on top of each other, and you just triple booked yourself. So with this in PL, if you've already registered for something that date and that time, it's not going to let you go ahead and do it. So then you can go back to your courses and look to see why it's not letting you in there. And this will tell you also what's up and why it's not letting you do that. All right, so let me go back to courses real quick. All right, so here again are my courses. This was that PowerSchool Professional Learning User Training. If I don't want to go and join this, like let's say I changed my mind, don't really want to be in this one anymore, you can click on this little door that has like this arrow going to the right, and that will withdraw you from the course. And it's just going to ask you, are you sure? And you say yes, and you just withdraw. And then it's taking you out. Let me go back to my courses. All right, the other thing on this course tab is this thing called Find Courses by Tags. In July, I'm going to put a plug in for Learning by Design. July 19th through August 5th, we're going to have Learning by Design, completely optional. But if you are interested in joining Learning by Design, you can go in here and let's say I just want to find all of the courses that are going to be during that time, Learning by Design, to register for those courses. Then I would just click on that tag. There we go. And that's going to show me all of the things that we have available for Learning by Design during that time. And then again, if there's 14 results in here, but if you wanted to drill down even further and say, I just want to see all the math courses, you can do that as well. All right, let me check the chat real quick and make sure we're okay. That's a good question. If the demographics are incorrect, actually shoot me an email first, Wanda, and we'll take a look real quick to see, and then we can shoot that by Paula Belkin to see what's going on with that. So just shoot me an email. All right, the next tab is this transcript tab. And like I said, we took all of the things from ERO. So I think we started ERO in 2008. So we took all of the things from the transcripts in ERO and placed them into PL. You may have noticed some weird emails going in a couple of weeks ago that said you are marked attended for a course you took in 2010, and you're like, what in the world? That was why. It was because we were trying to clean up ERO and put all of that information into PL. So our main thing for you right now is if you can check your transcript, just at least for this certification cycle, if you are a certification person, then just check to see if nothing is missing in ERO and make sure that that we have pretty much all of your information correct whenever all the ERO courses were brought over. If you do notice some that are not in there, I would actually email your presenter first. So if you took a course with me, let's say, and you're like, well, I didn't see that Excel advanced class, and I know I took that class, just shoot your presenter an email first, say, hey, I don't know why I didn't get credit for that. Maybe the presenter just didn't put the attendance in yet. But if the presenter is saying, oh, I know I did that, and you can't still find it, then shoot the MLS team or the staff development team an email. We can try to figure out why it's not there. All right, so this is your transcript, like I was saying. So you can actually put in certain dates like you did in ERO. And I'm just going to put in my first start, my date of my 5-year cycle, and then put in today just to see what I have. And I'm going to click search. And if I scroll down, I'm going to see my most recent class first. It's going to tell me again your title, when it was, and then how many hours I got. If you scroll all the way down, that will quickly tell you how many credits you have during this renewal cycle, or during just the time frame that you placed in. So if I was looking at this, I can see, oh, I have until 2023, and I only have 66.75 renewal credits, but I know I need 120 by 2023. Maybe I should, take a few more classes or whatnot. So you can quickly see how many hours you have. If you scroll up here, I know some people I'm taking a class at the Citadel. I'm taking some courses at the Citadel, and they actually required me to have darkness to light training. Well, I know that I've already taken darkness to light training through the district. So what I'm also able to do is go over, and every single one of these trainings has a certificate number. And if you click on the certificate number right now, it's not working. We have to fix it. There was something going on with it. But if you click on the certificate number whenever it gets fixed, it's going to give you a certificate that has the course title, when you took it, how many credit hours you had, and then it's also going to have Dr. Wilson's signature at the bottom. So you can essentially take this certificate, either email it to somebody, or you can print it out and give it to somebody so that they know that you've taken certain courses. Or perhaps you're leaving the district and you want to take some of these credits with you, and you want to just make sure that your new district or your new employer knows what you've taken. You can also email this as a PDF, or you can also print this out so that you can give it to whoever you need to give it to. All right. And then the very before I say that, if you want to just see everything, you can clear out those dates and just click search, and that will also give you all of your courses. And then you have your tabs up here if you want to filter through certain credits. All right, so the last thing is your out-of-district transfer request. And basically, this is anything that you've taken outside of Dorchester 2, and you want to place it into PL so that there's some type of record that you've already taken these courses. So for me, most recently, it was my Read to Succeed class that I took on Virtual SC. And so I had to place in a new request just so that Paula knew that I had already taken that part of my endorsement that I needed. So what you do, if you do have something like this, you're going to go over to New Request, click on that, and you're going to get two choices. This bottom one right here says do not use, so naturally don't use it. It says ZZ, and we were just trying to do that so that it's at the bottom, and do not is not at the top, and that's not the first thing that you click on. So ZZ just puts it at the bottom because it's alphabetical. But really, basically what this is our ERO stuff, and that's why we're asking you not to use it, because it's just all of the things coming from ERO. But what you're going to do is use this out-of-district transfer request. So when you click on that, it's going to bring you to this window. It's going to have your name here. You're going to put in your title of your course, and then you're going to, this is optional, you're going to put in your location. So for me, it was Virtual SC, when you did it, when it ended, how many hours you had. And then this description part is optional, but however, I recommend you adding as much details as much as possible for Paula, just so that she doesn't have to ask as many questions later. Might even have your request be approved a little bit earlier because she knew all of that information. And then if you scroll down, this right here is actually the most important part. It's your documentation of hours, and it's your proof of attendance. And so anytime you take an out-of-district out-of-district course, you want to get some type of proof that you attended, how many hours it was, when it was, and the title of your course. And you actually have to attach that, or it's not going to let you submit it for credit approval. So make sure you attach that on there, and then you're just going to click on submit for credit approval, and something is going to go to Paula Belkin where she can look through it and then approve as needed. And like I said, Paula is great, so she will get that done for you. However, sometimes lots of emails come through. So if you do, you've noticed that a week has passed by, just shoot her a quick email that says, hey, can you check on this? I added this in there. But most part, she's usually great about doing that. So you might not even have to do that. So, I'm going to go ahead and click on delete this request just because I'm not really putting anything in there. But that's basically professional learning. Like I said, we'll go more into micro-credentials as we dig deeper into it. But I've been really pleased with this system. I do think it's a little bit more user-friendly and has a little bit more modern look to it. So I think it's been great. One more thing I do want to say is if we stop today, I did record this session. So if there were any any questions after the fact, I am going to put this on the DD2 online PD team so you can rewatch it. Or if you go to the MLS OneNote, the Technology Resources OneNote, if you scroll all the way down, so if this is the top, scroll all the way down to where it says operational, under operational programs, this is all in alphabetical order. And if you go down to PowerSchool Learning, this is the information you'll need here. And I'll just, if you click on these user directions, this is basically everything I just went through in this training. And then I'm going to link also our video here that I just recorded, so you can rewatch it if you need to rewatch it. But it also tells you here if you have any other questions, who to email or how to reach out to somebody. Right, let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. That's a good question, Mr. Farmer, about the course title in the transcript. And let me check real quick. It actually does not look like you can. No, that you actually, I don't think you can, but I wonder if I use the Control F key, if I do use Control F, it will pop up for me. So you can do that instead of doing the searching. And I'll reshare my screen just so you can see what I mean by that. So like, let's say I wanted to see Aaron's Law, but I didn't know if it was in here. So if I did Control F and I said Aaron's Law, it shows me down here. So just use the Control F key. Good question, though. That was the first time I've seen that one, so it was good to know and figure that one out. So thank you. All right. Anyone else have any more questions? Like I said, feel free to put it in the chat. If not, this is recorded, like I said, so you can go back and watch it. I'll stick around for a little bit longer to see if you have any more questions, but if not, have a great afternoon. The sun is finally out, so that's nice. So like I said, have a great afternoon. Thank you for coming.